Things that you just think are common are not so common. Actually not in love with these purchases. That is
highly irritating.
This probably isn't the safest thing to do, yet here I am doing it. Splurge. That's my girl math. In the last video, I broke down the renovation process for the primary room, and in this video, we are gonna start decorating the space. The mood board for this room has different shades of blue. It's meant to feel moody, cozy, with jewel tones and wood elements. After going on Pinterest for some inspiration, I like to start adding the items that I purchased that are within the budget, along with other items that will tie the space together aesthetically on my digital mood board. The items are obviously out of budget, but this helps me keep my eyes open when I'm out shopping. This is my first project on a tight budget and a tight timeline, and I don't have time for a whole bunch of DIYs, so I'm hoping I can find a lot of these items in the store on a budget price. So this is what Lisbon and Roman clay looks like. I wanted to do the whole room, but they said they wanted to keep it light and bright and airy in here. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna just do this whole side, and I might do some heat for this, but I'm gonna add some joint compound to it just to make it a tad bit lighter. So we're gonna just focus on this wall. If I end up loving it, then that might be an opportunity to do more, but I'm gonna just focus on this and see how it looks and get to mixing. So Roman clay is thick. I'm using drywall what is this called? A mud pan to work with this. And then because they said the color was too dark and I already bought this big jug, I'm going to mix it with some joint compound, which I should not be doing because this is a very pristine material, but I'm being honest. I'm gonna mix. So for 4 swipes of Lisbon, I use 2 scoops of joint compound. Okay, so this has quite literally been a hot mess. First of all, I got Roman clay because I wanted to color drench this whole room. Now, they didn't necessarily want the whole room color drenched. So I was like, okay, because the color I chose was too dark. Second thing, Roman clay for me, I just don't really have the patience to work with it. So, considering I already spent what I spent on the Roman clay, I was like, okay, let me get a white paint, and don't kill me. Let me get like a white paint or a blue paint or like something to like tone it down. So, I got joint compound, in which I've done a joint compound concrete wall before, as well as a little sample of a blue paint. I got a light blue color. So now what I'm finding is I've rolled the Roman clay / paint / joint compound concoction on, and then I started scraping it. So this next phase, you can see I don't really have that much dimension. So this next phase, I'm going to section it before I scrape it. So I'm gonna put like the joint compound, gray mix, the blue mix, and then just pure white, and then see what I get. So let's hope for the best. This is definitely a trust the process. And the good thing is this wall, especially after I sand it, is going to be covered with a dresser and a TV. So it's not gonna be, you're not gonna really be able to see all the imperfections like you do now. And Roman clay lime wash is very much a trust the process type of process and paint finish. So let's trust the process and keep going. So we are at the point where this room is pretty much complete. This room underwent such a transformation, and let's just tap into the before pictures to see what we were working with. So in the beginning, there were actually closets right here. The closet was obviously really big, but it was in a space that was making the room feel smaller. Over here, there was a media station, and this is where the TV was. There was also a small closet right here. The room had 2 windows. It had no recessed lights, and it was just a space that felt very dark. So we took up the old carpet and we put luxury vinyl that we got from Floor & Decor. We painted the space white, and structurally we changed the format of the windows. So the windows are from Lowe's. We got them stock and ready to pick up, and they definitely make a huge difference in the overall look and feel of the space. This wall was quite the DIY. Like, this wall was giving me a run for my money, but I honestly think that once the furniture went in, it kind of tied everything together. These dressers are from Amazon, and the bed is the mom bed from IKEA. I'm happy with the way everything turned out. The nightstands are from Amazon, and the accessories that I'm gonna be trying out are from Home Goods. So I have to try out a few different options just to kind of see what I wanna go with. But overall, this room, the transformation, the recessed lights, everything came together in a way that makes it super beautiful. Before I get into any room innovation, the first thing that I love to do is get the dimensions of the space to kind of see what we can do, what ideas that we can have to pull the space together to make the most impact in the least amount of time, and in this case, on a budget. So I love to use the app Home Planner because it allows you to visualize a space with furniture in it, to make it functional, and to prevent any future mistakes. So although the closet is smaller and we put it here, we do have a lot of drawer space. This is gonna be sufficient, and I think that we get a larger impact with having drawers over there and hanging space here. So I am happy with that decision. In video 2, you will see me actually transform the space and put the design together. I hope you guys are enjoying this mobile home renovation series. She said, take your time, what's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mud. She said, take your time, what's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mud. I'm a dog, I'm a mud. I get smoked already so hard in my blunt is. I see guys' pretty faces, so I got trouble trusting. But I let my guard down for you. Said I'll put my guard down for you. So for the headboard, I think I'm going to grab this one, which is $25 a yard, and they do have that in stock. Yeah, this was super organized and efficient. I think the prices were fair. I think we got some good options. For the gray color, this one is a very thick fabric. It is alpaca. It's really nice and thick and plush. And then this one is textured. It's more competitively priced. However, not sure. Oh, so this one's, it's so funny how the lighting.
Oh, different.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Has
Okay.
a little bit of sheen to it, but not as much as some of the stuff I have.
I think I'm gonna go with the alpaca. Yes. Yay! So the funny thing is about a budget is I'm always going to splurge in an area and then compensate elsewhere. So me spending $90 a yard for some fabric was probably not the most budget friendly. However, considering it was a natural fiber and I was below budget in other places, that's my girl math. So let's see how this plays out and go to the next location. So I feel like this would look really good for the nightstand in the primary bedroom. This is definitely different than I probably would pick, but I like the mixed colors, and then there are 2 of them, so I'm gonna grab these. So this isn't a lamp I would typically go for. However, Pinterest and my mood board had me thinking this may be a really good option. I liked how they use different textures and different tones. It is $60 and it is a pretty big lamp, but I have to make sure that they have 2. Another one that caught my attention as I was walking through was, actually this is kind of like what they had in some of the mood board pictures on Pinterest. They had warmer wood tones, which I think popped really well. This is intended to go on the wall where the dressers are. So here is the second one. This one is pretty too. This one's $49. I'm actually not in love with these purchases, but I am gonna, or that purchase, but I am gonna grab it just in case. The neutral in me wants to just grab these, but I feel like those ones will look better textured. Okay, so I walked by this and I thought, when I walked by it earlier and I thought it was misplaced because it looks like a trash can, but I saw it had a plug coming out of it, and when you turn it on, it illuminates, and I think it's really pretty. I think the acrylic is throwing me off, but that might be a good option. Another good option, this one, this is definitely not as budget friendly because it's $100, but they do have 2 of them. So I'm gonna go keep the one that wouldn't typically be the one I would choose, just for the sake of challenging myself, but I might be back for those other ones. Hey y'all, so we are back at the house. Today I'm going to try to fully furnish and stage the place just to get any last touches and things like that. So it's gonna be a very busy day. I'm gonna hang up the curtain rods. I'm probably gonna go a bit wider with the curtain rods just to give a more dramatic feel, considering I didn't go with painting the whole room. After the curtain rods, I'm gonna mop the floor and unroll out the rug, put the mattress together. I'm gonna just try to tie up the space as much as possible, and then end up going to Target, Home Goods, and see if there's any final touches for this specific space. So I got these window curtains from Amazon. They are 84 inches, so I'm gonna try to go at about 86, 87 inches in height so that I can get these hung up. So it's gonna be a busy day. I'm gonna try to speed through this as best as I can, and let's just get into it. Okay, so these are things that bother me that I'm definitely gonna take to the next renovation project. I'm now noticing that these windows aren't centered. So this window here is about 50.5 inches off the wall, where this one is 38. Not sure why it's not centered. I did not really notice that. So now I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do these curtains, so just give me a moment. So I think the solution is going to be put the nightstands first, then move the bed, and then center according to the bed. The good thing about the curtains is I can manipulate it to make it look like there's more window space than there actually is, but this is definitely something that's gonna bother me. 80 plus 65. So 80 plus 65 divided by 2. So that means 72.5 is the center. So this side right here is the center. That is highly, highly irritating. This is something that I didn't really notice. Doing remote renovation projects, I feel like I could write a whole things I wish I would have known before renovating a remote project, things I wish I would have known before doing a project, period. 5 things I wish I would have done while doing a remote project. A few different things that I wish I would have known before doing a mobile home. Ways to stay organized while doing a remote project, as well as things that you just think are common are not so common. I'm not sure why the window was not centered to the room, but here we are and we're gonna make it work, and the next project I won't have this issue. So let's just figure out how to hang up these curtain rods. These curtain rods I got from Amazon. They are black. So these are the curtain rods that I got. It comes with 3 wall brackets, which I will mount hopefully in studs. So yeah, let me just lay these things out so you guys can see. So I have 3 different brackets here. I have some screws and wall anchors, and let's try to get these in the stud. Okay. So this probably isn't the safest thing to do, yet here I am doing it. So 72 inches is the center of the wall. This wall in totality is about 12 feet. So I'm gonna do one in the center and then one about 12 inches off of the end of the wall because I want to drench this wall with curtains. So let's hope we find a stud. Okay, so I did not find a stud there. However, I know there is wood here because there's framing here. So maybe it's too tall to find a stud because the wood would be going horizontally. Next. So a little trick is studs typically are every 12 to 16 inches. So I'm gonna do 16 inches. Just to see if we hit a stud, because I'm not finding any studs here. So I marked 12 inches and 16 inches, and hopefully between the 2 we hit something. So okay, now let's go on the other side. 12 inches, 16 inches. So there's nothing. The height of the ceiling is 89 inches. I'm gonna put the curtains at 87 inches. So just 2 inches below, and that's how we're gonna get this done. Sure how it's gonna actually look, but the curtain rods are up. I did feel like I went into the stud, and let's just hope everything looks pretty seamless. I screwed them in. We have the 3rd one, and we have that one far at the end. Okay, so here's curtain rod number 2. This one comes with 4 brackets because it was my intention to make this a little bit longer. So we are going to put it on this wall here. I think I'm gonna do 1 bracket right in the center, and then another one about 30 inches over here, and then the other one about 30 inches over here. We're gonna go 2 inches from the ceiling, and repeat the same thing. After that, I'm gonna mop the floor. Obviously, I'm stepping on furniture. Things are dusty in here before I start pulling out everything. So let's go ahead and get these brackets up. So we are done with the brackets. It is time to clean this room. So let's do that, and then we should be able to pull everything out. It'll probably take me like 30 minutes to clean and dust, hopefully. And let's start pulling stuff out and start staging. To have one more piece, but it does fit. It's bowing a little bit, but once I screw them in, I'm pretty sure it'll tighten up. It fits. Okay, so let's get the curtains on and see what it actually looks like. So my first impression is I actually love how dark and moody it looks. I think before I decide on the headboard, I need to actually pull out the rug, considering I might have to change the curtains to a different hue of blue. So I think I'm gonna have to pull everything out. Whew. Okay, so things that I've learned throughout renovation is it's just easier to do it in a process. Ideally, this rug would have come before the bed. However, that didn't happen. I thought I was gonna get done. The last time I was here, I did not get done. So it turned out that it didn't really matter that much anyways. I'm gonna take the drawers out of the bed so I can lift the bed up to put the rug underneath it. Let's hope I can do it, and let's just get everything in order. Right now is, can I really do this by myself? And then what I'm also thinking is I don't want to wait to have someone help me. This bed is actually very light, so I'm gonna try to tip it over. Okay. Well, that wasn't very smart. Thank you, God, because I did not break the window. I'm gonna take this out and just wait. Whew. Okay, so rug pad. Okay, I feel like I could actually turn the bed to the side this way. Okay, so the immediate problem that I see is the vent is right here. I can't cover it because it's a fire hazard if I do. This is a mistake that I made. I should have measured out the vents because Now I have a rug that could have been an 8 by 10 versus a 9 by 12. But now I have a 9 by 12 and I'm basically gonna cover the whole room with a rug, which I didn't want to do. So, let me see. So now the rug pad is somewhat down. I think I'm gonna put the rug back here first and then put the bed down and do the end last. This rug right here is worth all the coin because I've bought rugs from so many different places. This is the most inexpensive rug for the quality that I've ever had. I'm very impressed. Like, the color is beautiful. The feel is amazing. This is a great rug. Okay, yay! I did it, I'm so excited. Let me flip it out first before I say I did it. It needs to move over. All I need is one more person. Oh my gosh, I feel defeated. Give me a moment. So that moment was 30 seconds. I am determined and impatient. The rug pad is a little too visible. So for the headboard, I got this fabric from downtown LA. This is real. I forgot what it was. But I was contemplating doing the headboard or not. But when I decided to flip this, I actually punctured a hole in this. So now I have to. So I got this wall mount from Amazon. I've never mounted a TV, and honestly, I just feel like amongst all of the challenges and delays, I just gotta keep going. So here's all of the materials I need. I'm gonna try to mount it so that it's center, and I'm for sure gonna go into the studs. So let's try to get this done. Okay, so I wanna keep moving. There's some delays with the curtain rods, with doing the headboard, camera equipment, amongst other things. So I'm gonna try to keep going by mounting a TV. I've never mounted a TV, but it shouldn't be hard, right? I found a stud. The center is actually here, but the good thing about this mount is it is a like full motion up, back, side, side. So as long as I get it in studs somewhat in the center, I'm able to move it left and right to get it dead in the center. This wall, where's my measuring tape? The center point from here is about, this is 52 and 55 is center. So it's a little off center. So I'm gonna mark this area as a stud. Another stud should be somewhere, this seems far. That doesn't seem right. So yes, there's a stud here, but the next stud should be here. Okay. And then, so I have a stud here and a stud here. Let me read the instructions. Oh, it came with a leveler too. That's really convenient. It looks like it's just 3 pieces. So you can see that it goes up and back, which will be nice. And then I believe these are for the wall. One will go in the center, and then I'll decide if I want to go here or go here. As long as the width of the actual TV is within the studs, I'll be good. Okay, so I'm not installing this because I do not have the correct tool. So I'm hoping that this can get installed. What I'll do is I'll unbox the TV itself and then try to style this area. So I'll just put this off to the side with another thing to delay and then start styling it just to see what I'm gonna keep and what I'm gonna return. So let's clean up this area and get to trying to get on to the next thing. I'm gonna leave all of the plastic wrapping on, considering this is going to get hung up. I don't want fingerprints and things on there if I can prevent them. The cord is there, and there's the TV. Hello, hello. So we are going to try to get the finishing touches today completed. I think there's probably 2 more days until this is done. What I've learned from doing this probably 20 times at this point is it takes a really long time to decorate and furnish a space. As a beginner, as somebody who is continuing to make mistakes and learn from them, some of the biggest time-saving tips that I can think of would be ordering things on an on-time, as-needed schedule. So for example, ordering a rug before the furniture, or making sure well, not even ordering, because you could order everything at the same time, but things don't get here at the same time. So when you're dealing with a space that is really small, it's really imperative that the order in which things come in makes sense. Like rugs. Rugs should be delivered first so that the furniture can go on top. Taking measurements of the entire room, windows, spacing between the windows so that you can buy the proper curtains, curtain rods, and furnishings. It takes time to build up the decoration and the finishing pieces, especially when you're doing things on a budget. So taking the time that you need to go to the Home Goods, go to the Marshalls, go to the at-homes, and actually be patient. So I'm hoping that the project is completed today and we can actually do the walkthrough tomorrow. But I just want to say, as I'm sitting in here and I'm looking at how beautiful it is, this is not where it started in the slightest bit. And I just want to say that I am so grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful to create spaces for people to enjoy. I'm grateful for the lessons and experience. And this is really my happy space. I love being able to invest my money in spaces where I know it's going to grow, whether that be financially, whether that be for the person's well-being who's going to be staying here, and the experiences I create for people. I think my love for travel and hotels and things like that have just poured into creating other spaces for people to enjoy for shorter periods of time or longer periods of time. So as I'm rediscovering myself in motherhood and not really knowing what avenues I want to explore, it's really been my piece to create peace in spaces where people rest. So I feel like I found my thing and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm super, super, super grateful, like I said, because I was definitely the kid watching Extreme Makeover Home Edition and all the HD TVs and things like that. So it's interesting doing it myself and actually being the leader in the operation. And I think that I have a good sense of experience and what not to do next time. So with all that being said, I'm hoping that we wrap everything up today and then we're able to walk through and break down the costs, the pricing, the pros, cons, mistakes, the process, the material costs. It's kind of hard to break up the renovation costs just considering I'm not sure how the electrical or the labor for like installing the floor was divided amongst the spaces. So I might try to just divide it based off of the square footage, or I might just not include it at all. I think the next part of my evolution in sharing this online, because obviously all of this is nice, but girl, how much does it cost? Like, can I do it? What does the actual process look like? I have not done a really good job about documenting that process. However, here we are, we're learning, we are growing, and let's go ahead and set this space up and get moving. So I bought this cabinet hardware from Amazon. I have not opened it yet, so this is the first look. I think this is going to be gorgeous in comparison to this. These look very cheap and very plasticky. I'm not impressed with the handles whatsoever. I think this is gonna look so much better. So I'm excited to see the before and after and see what it's gonna look like. Okay, so I got knobs taken out. These knobs I got from Amazon. They came in a 6-pack. I think these look much more elevated and these just look like better quality. I told myself not to do this. Yeah, I did it. Okay. So if you look at this and you look at this looks like a little kid toy. It's like a cheap gold color. This looks more elevated. It looks just more expensive. It looks more thought out, more intentional. So I'm gonna switch these out. I hope the opening works. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch these out. I think it's gonna make a huge difference. Although you probably can't see the magnitude of the door pulls from this angle, I do feel like it's an eyesore. That might just be me, but I think that changing the door pulls is a way to make an inexpensive piece of furniture a little bit more elevated. So yeah, let's see what it's gonna look like. So it comes with 2 different screws. I am gonna use the smaller one because this is not gonna fit. So the screw packs that it comes with, you can see one is longer, one is a little bit shorter. One is shorter, one is longer. The width of the drawer is probably like a 3/4 inch, and then the knob itself is probably like a 1/4 inch. So I think this will be sufficient. I know I keep saying today is the day, but honestly, I have toxic optimism sometimes, and I think I can do so much more sometimes, and honestly, this is turning out much easier.